Your people-pleasing days are over. No more saying yes to things that don't serve you, no more letting things slide, and no more feeling unheard. Hello, it's Evelyn, aka Milklard, and in today's episode of Milklard Mindset, we're going to be discussing how you're going to put your people-pleasing days behind you. So let's jump right into the conversation. Today we're going to talk about how to stop people pleasing. Not only that, how to identify if you are a people pleaser, because most likely you are doing things that a people pleaser would do without even realizing, oh shit, I'm a fucking people pleaser. We're going to talk about setting boundaries, communicating clearly, and confidently. I really thought I wasn't a people pleaser, especially because I'm someone who has always been very outspoken about how I feel. Since I was a kid, I have always mostly kept to myself, and I never felt the need to fit into a certain group or have a big friend group. Because of that, it made me think that I wasn't a people pleaser. When I really started to think about it, I was like, oh shit, I am most definitely a people pleaser with my small circle and with the few people that I do get involved with. I start letting shit slide that I usually would not ever let slide if it was just a random person. You have to understand that your boundaries should be set with everyone, and there's no exceptions to your boundaries. We most likely all are people pleasers to some extent because of the way we were raised as kids and because of situations that happened when we were younger. It leads us to act a certain way. We just start to accept bad behavior because we want to keep relationships. That's where everything stems from, is from wanting to have this connection. And you have to understand why it is you are people pleasing and what made you be a people pleaser. Are you putting other people before you because you want to either fit in? Is it because you're scared of losing that attachment to someone? Is it wanting to feel love? Acknowledge and think about why it is you are trying so hard to hold this connection. From childhood, we have shit that happens to us that makes us feel the need to people please. To a certain extent, people pleasing has saved us. We grow up in these environments that are very high stress. You don't want to upset your parents, so then you talk a certain way. You apologize for things that you shouldn't really be apologizing for, right? Because that helps you be protected. You need your parents to survive, so you're going to try and please your parents. In social environments, let's say that you want to fit in. So you are trying to please people to fit in and to be around this certain person. If you have to change yourself to be around someone and to have someone like you, then that person is just not meant for you. You will attract the people that are meant for you. If you are yourself, you will find the people that are meant for you. You have to start being yourself so much that everyone who's not meant for you is gonna leave on their own. The people that are not meant for you are not gonna like it when you are yourself, but you should not want to please the people that are not meant for you. You have to be loud about who you are. People are not gonna like it when you are who you are. On my Instagram, once I started, the first few videos I made where I kind of started sharing my opinions, it upset a lot of my audience. People wanted me to be this cute, pretty girl and have it just be that. Some people don't want to see your opinion, don't want to know how you feel about things. Some people just have this curated thing of you, and then once you start acting outside of that, people don't like that. And it made me be like, oh shit, I need to share myself even more. I have to curate the people I want in my audience, right? I need to curate my audience so it's that people that I want to be and spend more time with. The people that are not meant for you are not gonna like when you say what you want. When you want to break out of being a people pleaser, it's going to upset people. To this person, all you have ever been is not yourself. The only thing that they see you for is the value you bring. But you've made yourself be that person, right? If you've your whole life and your whole relationship with this person, you have shown them that you would just serve them and all they know of you is what you can do for them, right? If you're a fucking yes man and all you're doing is blowing smoke up someone's ass, that's all they're gonna want you for, because you created this relationship, you created this environment. You can't really be upset that someone has treats you a certain way if you continuously have allowed that behavior. A lot of my closest relationships have been just cut off. I was the one who put an end to those relationships. And the reason I was able to cut off those relationships is because I was building so much resentment to where I had one last straw and I completely cut off that relationship and I was like, I'm done. That was my last straw. I'm done. And I look back at these relationships and I have so much resentment, and I have a lot of, I won't say hatred because I don't think I have hatred towards anyone, but I have a lot of bad feelings with these past relationships that were once the closest thing and the dearest thing to me, right? I can't really even be upset at the people who have harmed me, anyone who has harmed me, I allowed them to. I put myself in that situation. So if someone's continuously fucking disrespecting your boundaries, but you're allowing it, right? In these past relationships, I allowed them to do these bad things. I continuously forgave bad behavior that I would not accept. Like in random relationships, I would not accept these behaviors, right? But now because this is a close relationship to me, I'm allowing shit that I would never allow. But I'm allowing that. Who can I blame but myself for being in this situation? I was only ever being hurt over and over again because I never fucking learned my lesson, and I was continuously putting myself in those situations. I wasn't really a victim. I allowed those things to happen. That was my blame. I used to look back in this relationship and be like, I was so perfect. I was so good. Everything I did was for them. Yes, that's true. That is very true, but that doesn't mean I need to blame that person for why I was treated the way I was. Can I look at that and say, you are a cruel fuck for doing that to me? Yes, that is true, but it's also true that I allowed that from you, and I let you do the things that you did to me. That's also my fault. If it's something that happened one time, you can't. Okay, I'm thinking of the Kendrick. I'm thinking of the J. Cole version though. Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Fool me 3 times, fuck the peace sign, load the chopper, later rain on you. Bro, I did forget. I had to sing the song. It's like when you forget the ABC, so you gotta go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, it's G. But that saying is so real. That saying is so real, bro. It's so real. First time around that someone harms you, you have to either decide to like cut that person off, communicate clearly, and if that person doesn't respond to your feelings correctly, you still forgive them either way. Because this was my problem. My problem was that I would communicate my problems, right? I would try my best. It was really hard for me at first because I was scared to lose relationships. So I wouldn't want to talk about how I felt because I had fear that like me sharing was gonna lead to them leaving, right? Or they were gonna be upset that I wasn't this perfect version, so they would leave. So I would communicate my feelings. It wasn't really received well, but because I wanted to stay in the relationship, I would put my feelings aside, kind of forget about it. I would try my best to forget about it, and then they would do it again, and it's like, okay, that's my fault at that point. If the first time around they hurt me and you communicated how you feel, that's not on you. But if the second time it keeps happening, now that becomes your problem, and the blame is now on you because you are allowing this like environment to continue to grow. If this person has to break your boundaries, then that person is not meant for you. And the reason why a lot of times we're forgiving and continuously forgive and allow certain people to break our boundaries is because we have not yet built a strong enough sense of self and self-respect, and we also have fear that something's gonna happen if we stand our ground. Really, you have to think about what's the worst that's gonna happen if you say no. Saying no to someone and standing your ground and respecting your boundaries means that you're gonna have to like sever that relationship with that person. Yes, you can forgive and whatever, but if that person is not gonna respect your boundaries, that's not someone that you should have around, and that's not someone that you should want to have around. I'm someone who very clearly communicates how I feel. So you guys have seen it when I have stated very clearly that I don't like simps, right? I don't like simps in my chat. It doesn't make me comfortable having people just like come and basically just oogle at me. It's like, you're not here for a conversation. You're not here to like be my friend. You're just here to fucking talk about how you're fucking gooning over me. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable with that. So I said it very clear. I don't get upset. I just set my boundaries. And I say, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. Let's not do that in chat. A lot of the times people respect that and they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't want to be weird. Like, and I say, it's okay. Don't worry. I get it. I set my boundaries. If you understood, that's great. We can still have a relationship, right? Because I stated my boundaries, you respected it, and I'm okay with it. There have been times where I set my boundary and I say those exact same things. I say, hey, I'm not comfortable with simping. Let's just not do that right now. And some people don't respect it. They either get upset or they just like continuously like keep being gross. If you're not going to respect that, then okay, you're in my stream, you're in my community, I can just block you. Do that same thing with people in your real life. Give people the opportunity to learn about who you are. How is someone gonna know what your boundaries are and what you're comfortable with if you don't communicate how you're feeling and how something makes you feel? Give people the opportunity though. So tell them, hey, you did this thing and I didn't really like it. It doesn't have to be an attack. It doesn't have to be, hey, you did this. You say, I feel this way because of this action you did. If you say that, that person's response should be addressing your feelings and saying, maybe they didn't mean it, right? So they should be saying, hey, I'm sorry, that wasn't my intentions. This is what I was supposed to, like, this is what I meant. Or they can say, hey, sorry, I didn't know that made you uncomfortable. I'm now going to change my actions so that doesn't happen in the future. That should be the only response you accept. Any reaction outside of like, hey, I'm sorry that I did this, I will change. Outside of that, you should not accept that. And some people might not like your boundaries, and that just means they're not fucking meant for you. Once again, what is meant for you will find you, but you have to be yourself so that people are able, like the people who are meant for you can find you. If you are constantly trying to be this version of someone so that you can please this specific person or this specific group, you're never gonna find the people that are meant for you because you're hiding behind someone that is not you. You don't need closure in life. Everything in life, we don't need closure. I think sometimes we chase wanting closure from someone, but like if someone has already harmed you and has already done this damage to you, you don't need any closure from them. You shouldn't seek closure from someone who has already hurt you. If this is a relationship you really care about and you want to continue to grow, obviously you should talk to that person and you should let them know how that made you feel. For example, we're gonna use Ogre as an example. One time, Ogre said something that hurt my feelings. Ogre didn't really know that what he was doing was hurting my feelings, so I communicated and I very clearly said, Ogre, this hurts my feelings. What you said hurt my feelings. I don't know if you meant it this way, but I took it this way. That's where I left it. Ogre's response was saying, I'm very sorry. I didn't know that was hurting you. I'm going to do this action to hopefully make that better, and I'm going to show you that I'm not going to do that again. If someone has come to you and someone is setting their boundaries with you, your reaction should also be to address those person's feelings and also take into account how your actions made that person feel. And if you feel that you have done nothing wrong and that you have no reason to apologize, that is fine. You don't have to like go and try and please that person. That's, once again, you just have to come at it from like, okay, this relationship is over, we're gonna cut it. You have to be able to freely cut relationships, and maybe this is something I'm a little too good at, and I don't know if it's a problem. Once I have cut someone off, I feel like it is donezo's, it's over, and I don't care to like fix it. You can't really even be sad when relationships are over, because it's like, okay, this relationship doesn't serve me. Let's say you break up with someone or someone breaks up with you. You can't be sad over this relationship being over because it wasn't meant for you. The person who's meant for you wouldn't have broken up with you and wouldn't have started a fight over this specific thing, right? Let's say you want to fit into a certain group and you're trying to please and you're trying to like become this certain person. Let's say you struggle with being accepted in person, right? Let's say that you're struggling to find friend groups, you're getting bullied or you're just not fitting in, right? You're gonna try and like shape yourself and shape how you act to try and like fit in with these certain people. You sense that like you're not really that person. They can sense if you don't really feel and you know that you're not that person, people around you are gonna also realize that you're not that person and they're gonna like see you fucking differently. If people aren't gonna like how you are and who you are, when you're acting like this fake fucking version of yourself, act like the real version of you. If people are gonna shit on you regardless, might as well fucking be yourself. People are gonna say shit about you no matter where you are in life, who you are. There's going to be a group that doesn't like that. No matter who you are, you can be the most prettiest, perfect human being. There's gonna be bitter people who see that and gonna be like, I don't like that. There's a lot of people who don't fuck with me. And there's a lot of great people like you who do fuck with me, right? I can't please everyone. I don't want to please everyone. I don't want that I can't take that big responsibility of trying to please everyone. So what am I gonna do? Instead, I'm gonna make it easy on myself and fucking be myself and say all the shit that I want to, partake in the humor that I like to partake in, play fucking games that I like to play, talk about topics that I like to talk about, and if it fucking pisses some people off, I'm sorry, but that's just me and that's who I'm gonna be and that's what I'm gonna talk about. When I started posting my fucking opinions on the internet, it upset a big group of my fucking followers. When I started posting the things that I wanted to post, it upset people. People had this idea of me, and when they found out that it wasn't me, it upset them. But that doesn't mean that I now need to change because I'm like, oh no, some people got upset that I'm not the version that they thought I was. You're just not that fucking person, and you don't have to like fucking do yourself over being like over trying to fucking be this version of yourself that like other people want. sometimes you don't even really want to be that fucking version of yourself. People pleasers, so like when they're like severe fucking people pleasing, they think that they're doing it for other people. I see, like when I was in a relationship where I was continuously forgiving, letting shit slide, regardless of it was hurting me and regardless if I was ready to forgive, I would forgive because I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm doing it for them. I have so much love for them that I'm willing to forgive them. I have so much love and I'm doing it for them. I'm trying to be great for them. You think you're doing it for other people, but it's fucking selfish. It's actually you your actions are actually very selfish, and not just selfish, it's manipulative by trying to make people think that you're this ideal version, by trying to like make yourself this perfect angel who's super forgiving and who is very kind and does everything. You are a fucking manipulator because you're not that version of yourself, because you have resentment, because you're not ready to forgive. You forgive without actually even processing if you want to forgive because you want this person to like you or you want to make this person stay with you. Because you want something from this person, you want a reaction from this person, you are going to start changing how you are. You're going to make them think that you're this version of yourself. When I was back then, when I was forgiving and I was doing all that, I wasn't the fucking sweet little angel I was making myself up to be. No, I was resentful. I hated this person. After this fucking hard event, I would forgive and I'd be like, oh, I love you so much. And then that fucking night, I would go journal about how much I fucking hated that they did this to me, how much resentment I have towards them. You build that resentment to like when you get to a point and you fucking break, and now you see this relationship with so much hatred when once again you created that. They treat you like trash because you allow them to treat you like trash. People pleasers do it to feel accepted by others. It's always for themselves. It is always for themselves. People pleasing is only to please yourself, and then you don't even end up feeling pleased because you feel resentment. Instead of fucking like feeling like you're doing something nice, you're just building resentment. So I've already talked about how I don't really have friendships and relationships. I don't know if it's like a bad thing. I know that like it can be a bad thing, but I think once again in my head I am not around the people that I want to be, so it's hard for me to feel bad about not having these friendships. When you start setting your boundaries and when you are so clear on your boundaries, a lot of the times you're gonna lose a majority of your relationships because a lot of times people, you know, like they're accustomed to you allowing certain things. You've gotten accustomed to allowing certain behaviors. Now set boundaries will feel so much harder where if you just join new relationships, and I don't mean relationships as in like dating, just relationships in general, friendships and any kind of involvement with people, you have to enter those relationships being so clear about who you are. Think about like relationships, or if you've had a relationship where someone just is constantly doing something for you, do you not like in a way feel bad? Because I don't like when people just like constantly are doing nice things to me. Yes, you should be able to accept nice things, and I am someone who loves to accept. I love being given things, but also it becomes uncomfortable when like you feel like all you are doing is taking. Learn how to accept and how to take turns being accepted, because people feel good when they feel that they can also serve you. People feel good in these relationships where they feel it's a mutual bond, right? Where it's not only you giving, or it's not just you taking. I've come to see the beauty, like seeing people as lessons and seeing relationships as lessons, not feeling so hurt when relationships end, because a relationship served you for as far as it did, and once it no longer serves you, you can't keep trying to make it serve you, right? It's done. When you go to a new relationship, you have already learned so much from this past relation that you just keep creating more beautiful relationships, and you keep learning and growing from people. Like, I don't like to talk too much about this, but you know that Kendrick song? Girl, I'll cut my granny off if she don't see it like I do. I feel that so strongly, because it's like even blood. Any conversation I have with you, it's just gonna lead to disrespect. I'd rather not have it. As sad as it is to like have to cut off family, I am willing to do that if that means that it's gonna put me first and it's gonna respect like who I am. I can't be in these relationships where people think it's okay to like disrespect me and to talk to me a certain way. Say no. You need to learn to say no. Say no for everything, basically, if it does not suit you. Okay? Put you first, and everything else is a fucking no. If you don't want to hang out, say no. If you don't want to do favors for someone, say no. If someone wants to do something with you and you don't want to, say no. I used to feel the need to have to hang out with people, even though I knew what I wanted to do was to stay home and do something else. So Layla Hermazi, I learned this from her. She has this thing called periods of no, and she says that she enters these periods of no, where she wants to be so involved with her work that she lets people know, hey, I'm in a period of just saying no. So if you ask me to hang out or if you ask me to do these favors, it's most likely that I'm going to say no because I'm in a period of no. I'm in a period of just focusing on me. I'm not going to do all these things. She sets her boundaries very clearly. So I've been doing that. I've let my friends know, like, hey, I'm in a period where I'm really focused on this and I don't want to hang out. I told my friend that this week was the last week I was going to be working out with her, and after this week, I'm no longer working out with her because I want to focus on my workouts. Focusing on my workouts means that I'm not going to be going to the gym with her. She didn't like that, but once again, I don't feel bad because I know that's what I want. And having to say no to having gym hangouts is going to let me be the version that I want to be. I have to respect that for myself. And even though it upset her, I'm not going to put her first. I'm going to continue to put me first. And in any relationship, you have to learn to put you first. And if that means saying no to certain people, and that means hurting people's feelings because you're not going to be this version that they want them to be, or you're not going to make yourself available for everything. If you have a hard time saying no, think about what is your fear with saying no. Is it like, are you afraid of the conflict that comes with saying no? Are you scared of being neglected or abandoned because you say no to certain things? Are you afraid that this person's going to criticize you, right? There's certain friendships when you say no to hanging out, they might talk between, they might be kikiing between each other and being like, oh, like Evelyn never comes out, or like Evelyn blah blah blah. Because I bet that's what people say about me sometimes. Or when I first started saying no, actually I know that for a fact because in my old friendships, when I started working and I finally got a job, I told them, hey, I'm too busy with work that I'm not going to be able to hang out as much as we used to hang out, because now with my free time, I need to still prioritize the things that I need to do. My friend straight up told me, oh, you're a bad friend, like, like, you never hang out with us anymore, like, you're a shitty friend. Straight up, he was telling me, oh, you're shitty. Why? Because I got a fucking job and you're not, like, we're still seeing each other, we're still hanging out. I just can't hang out the same way I used to be. You're not going to make me feel shitty for putting me first. Like, I have this dream of where I want to be, and I don't have the time right now to be hanging out with people. Like a cool hangout for me would be like, hey, let's get together and make vision boards and let's make journal planning, like journal meetings on how we're going to reach our plans. Like, I would love to do that. I just don't have the friendships where that's the type of things they want to do. I don't want to hang out and fucking go smoke and waste my time. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. So I'm going to say no to having these hangouts that don't serve me. I'm so sure that I'm going to find the people who are going to want to do those things and who find it fun and who, like, their idea of hangouts are the same idea of hangouts. I need to have friends that want success as bad as I want success. I don't have those friends. So I don't care to hang out with the people that I know because they're not inspiring me. They're not doing the same things that I want to be. So why do I feel bad, right? It's the same thing of, like, you have to be yourself so much that you will find the people who are meant for you. I don't need people to take it personal when I don't want to hang out with them constantly. And you shouldn't take it personal when people don't want to hang out with you. If you have a reaction, if someone sets a boundary with you and you have a certain reaction, you have to think about, okay, what is that reaction? Are you getting upset because someone is setting their boundary? Are you feeling hurt or like rejected because someone set a boundary? Someone else's action is never personal to you, okay? It's never personal. You have to set clear boundaries, but also when someone sets boundaries, you also have to respect that person's boundaries. And if someone's setting boundaries that you don't like, then don't involve yourself with them. It all loops back to, if it doesn't serve you, it's not something that you need to be chasing. Don't waste your energy on trying to make this one thing that is not working work. Anytime you are seeking any feeling from someone else, it means that, like, you are lacking something in yourself, so you're trying to find that through someone else. You're trying to find validation, the love that you lack, you're trying to find that through someone else. You have to be so much yourself that, like, you don't need anything from anyone else. So when it comes to closure and stuff like that, you never actually need closure from anyone else because the answer you are looking for is inside. If someone did you wrong, why are you going to go to that person and try and be like, but why did you do it? Why did you hurt me? Motherfucker, they did it. Whatever. Fuck off. That person doesn't fucking serve you anymore. It's donezo. They hurt you. Keep it moving. Don't look for an explanation. Do not look for an explanation. It happened, and what you learned from them hurting you was that person is not someone that you need in your life. Also, stop saying sorry. Stop fucking saying sorry for everything. Stop saying sorry for saying sorry. That used to happen so much to me, where people used to be like, you say sorry a lot. And I'm like, sorry. And I'm like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, I'm saying sorry for saying sorry because I said sorry. Like, shut up. Shut up. You don't know. When you say sorry, take a second and think about, like, what am I saying sorry for? Like, you're saying sorry, but you don't even acknowledge what you're saying sorry for. Like, you gotten so used to apologizing for existing that, like, you don't even know what you're apologizing for. That's just in your vocabulary. So when you do say sorry, think about, like, reflect on it and think about what it is. What am I apologizing for? A lot of time, also learn how to say thank you. In a lot of situations, I used to struggle a lot with accepting kindness. So when someone would do something nice to me, I'd feel so bad for it. I'd feel guilt over someone doing something nice for me. So I would apologize. And I'm like, I'm sorry that you're doing this for me. Even though they're like, no, like, don't apologize. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're doing something nice for me and I feel really bad about it. Why are you feeling bad for someone trying to do something nice? Why are you saying sorry instead of saying thank you? Someone would feel so much better if they think that you're appreciative of what they're doing instead of, like, having this guilt. And, like, they kind of feel like, am I doing too much? Like, damn, bitch, all I did was open the door for you. Someone opens the door and you're like, oh, sorry. No, bitch, now I say thank you. Someone opens the door and I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. Be so appreciative, right? Show appreciation instead of fucking feeling sorry for the fact that someone's trying to do something nice for you. We'll end off on this. It's the last journal prompt that I want to share with you guys. Which one of your needs are not being met because you are being a people pleaser? Like, do you constantly feel like you're being overlooked, or like if your opinion doesn't matter? Do you feel like someone is making, like, mean jokes on you because you allow it and because you're being a people pleaser? What behaviors are you allowing? What feelings do you not like? In the areas that you feel bad, you're gonna realize where it is you need to set the boundaries. Okay, I think that is everything I want to talk about. We are now gonna go to the outro. I hope after today's video you can make the necessary changes to become your better self. And trust me, I know breaking free from these habits is hard, but what's even harder is constantly being put last. I really appreciate you being part of today's conversation, and if you'd like to join the next conversation, make sure to follow my Twitch. It's going to be linked in the description, as well as all my other social medias. In the last episode of Milklard Mindset, I showed you everything you need to do in order to enter your locked-in discipline era. So if you did miss that episode, make sure to go watch it. Well, that's it for today's video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!